Hi students, so in this video I'm going to show you how to build logic gates using multimedia software. So in this video we are going to use a free download tool where you can just type it in Google and you can download it and you can ace your exams just by using this particular tool. I mean it's going to make life so easy for you. So what I'm going to do is first, right, first head down to Google, right, type here multimedia logic gates. Okay, SourceForge will have multimedia logic download. Click on that link and click on the download link, right? Run that application. Once it downloads, you'll have it here, and then you just run the application. Once you run it, right, it'll pop up here, multimedia logic. Okay, click on the multimedia logic and then you'll get this, right? This is so easy. I mean, this should be made illegal because it's so easy, right? All you need to do is just here you have the palette. In the palette you'll have all the components, right? You will have the AND gate, the OR gate, you'll have the XOR gate, you'll have the NOT, you'll have an LED light, you'll have a buzzer, a switch, right? So in all of these things, you can, for example, if I just want to just use a switch, right, I just need to click on the switch and click here once. Then I'll click on the selector so I can move it around. Okay, then I'm going to use a buzzer. Okay, click on the buzzer, I can move it around, and I need to just wire it. So I click the wire tool, right, and then click on that dot and then drag and then release it on the other dot. I need to do it properly and release it on that dot. There we go. Then now you probably know the human ear has a frequency, a sensitivity from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. So that's 20 kilohertz, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this buzzer because the buzzer is it's kind of too high. The frequency is too high. So just double click the buzzer and then go here. I'm going to select something like 1000 hertz. Okay, and when the buzzer comes on, it should buzz for 600 milliseconds. That's a little over half a second. Okay, and then click OK. Right, and now I can run this. Let's see, there's a run button here on top. Just click the play, run simulation. Okay, there we go, and then press it again. Yeah, that's the buzzer. Now I can do something like that. I can take an LED light. Here's an LED and I can pop it there and I can do the same thing. So I'm going to select the selector, wire, and drag the wire from here and let it go here. Right, now let's see whether the light bulb, the LED light, lights up. Okay, so play the simulation, click. Okay, there we go, the LED light lights up. Right, I can turn it off, I can turn it on again. There, the LED lights up. Okay, so switch it off. Now you basically now know how to turn on a switch and turn on a light bulb. Now the thing is, this is about logic gates, right? So we don't want to have a buzzer directly connected or an LED directly connected. What we want to use is proper gates. So I'm going to use the AND gate. So I'm going to select this AND gate, click the AND gate. Okay, now for the AND gate you will need, I can move it around, just click and move it around. You will need two switches. Okay, I'm going to click another switch from here click, okay, and then click, and then I can move it around, and then I'll use the wire tool and I can wire it. It just needs to be properly wired. Okay, click and drag it over there. Okay, now that we have dragged it, this is an AND gate, so I'm going to put an LED light here, and I'm going to wire it again from here. Click and drag, right, okay, and move it around a bit. Now if you want, you can change the color of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color of this to yellow. Right, now that I change the color, I can play the simulation. I'm going to click on. Now notice this is an AND gate, right? AND gate simply means both inputs should be 1. So I'm going to turn on this AND gate. I'm going to turn on this by clicking the both input switches. There we go. Both conditions need to be satisfied. Okay, so here we have an AND gate. Now I can turn one off, and you can see it clearly goes off. The same way I can do it with an OR gate. Okay, I can use the same input, so I'm going to use an OR gate here. Okay, just move it around a bit. Okay, and wire it. Click the wiring from here. That's the wiring. Click and drag it up there. Oops, didn't connect properly. Click again and drag it there. Oh, let's try again. Click and drag it here. Okay, that worked. And then click and drag it up here. Right. Okay, so now I have an OR gate and an AND gate. I'm going to put a buzzer here. Buzzer, here we go. And wire the OR gate to the buzzer. Right. Okay, and I need to change the frequency of the buzzer by selecting. If you accidentally add a bunch of stuff like that, and then you went like oops, you can just select that again and then delete. Press the delete buttons. Okay, just click on the select and then select that, delete, select that, delete. Right, I'm going to double click this and then change this back to 800, and I'm going to make this 500 milliseconds. Okay, right. Okay, let's run the simulation. When I click on that, guess what? Since this is an OR gate, the OR gate works, but the AND gate does not, because I have only one condition satisfied. Now if I turn on the next switch, the light bulb is now satisfied. Anyway, the OR gate is still active, right? Only when I turn off both of them does the OR gate get disengaged. Okay, so the OR gate can work with either one of the inputs. That's why it's OR, this or that, right? So we can try it again by turning this on. There we go. You can turn it off, turn it on again. There you go. So any condition will satisfy the OR gate, but when it comes to the AND gate, both inputs need to be satisfied. So I hope you just enjoyed this particular session. It's so easy, right? So using this, you can build your own gates, right? For example, I'm going to just add another OR gate here just for fun. Okay, and I want to see what my output will be if I connect this over here and the output of this AND gate over here. And I'm gonna put in another LED light there, wire it. Okay. Yeah, we need to be a bit more patient when wiring. Okay, let's try that out and see what condition will make this light bulb work. Okay, there we go. So a single condition will enable the light bulb to light up. Right, so that's how a light bulb will light up. So it's because both of these are OR conditions, right? Any single condition with a 1 will basically light up this bulb, this LED. So you can experiment. For example, I'm going to write here, and here I'm going to put in here A. That's the A input. Okay, and that's going to be the B input. Okay, there's a text here, and that is going to be, since it's an A or B, it's going to be A or B. Okay, so that's the formula. There you go. That's the formula. Right. Let me put that in properly. Right, I think that's better. Okay, so it's A or B for that formula. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. What you can do is you can play around with this piece of software. It's the Multimedia Logic drawing software, and it has so many very interesting gates. It has combined gates as well, like XOR gates. You can also put in an OR gate here, right? And you can build your own logic gates, right? So if you have any questions, if you need any additional help, just feel free to reach out. Okay, bye bye.